Tomorrow, President Biden will speak with Chinese President Xi Jinping for their first known discussions since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The announcement comes days after a U.S. diplomatic cable suggested China is now open to providing Russia with requested military aid. Alex Gangitino from The Hill joins us tonight. All right, Alex, how much is the White House thinking they really have any influence over the Chinese?
You know, that's a good question. I think this call tomorrow, they've really been stressing that the president's going to warn China to not help Russia and to impose these consequences if they were to help Russia. The thing is, we haven't really heard much from the White House on what exactly those consequences are. You know, what the president is actually going to warn on the phone would happen if they do provide military assistance to Russia. So maybe after the call, they'll give us some specifics. But so far, we only know that, you know, they'll kind of threaten China and to try to sway them to not help Russia out. But to what extent that is, it's unclear right now.
It's interesting you say that they won't say what the consequences will be if China helps Russia. They didn't say what the consequences would be if Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine. But the language about both issues is pretty similar. Take a listen.
When a president like President Putin, launches a war of choice where he is brutally killing, injuring people in a sovereign country, there have to be consequences. Those consequences are economic and significant, no question about it. Should they provide military or other assistance that, of course, violates sanctions or supports the war effort, that there will be significant consequences.
Is there an acknowledgement all by the White House that the two major dictators in the world don't seem to be afraid of the President of the United States or American consequences?
You know, that's a good question. The President Putin is not backing down, given the many sanctions that the U.S. and our allies have imposed. And so it's curious to see if, the Chinese will also do the same and continue on doing what they want to do, which, reports have shown that the Chinese might be considering actually helping Russia. But we have heard from the Chinese that they've tried to, they're trying to appear neutral and they don't want to be part of the crisis. So, that's more indications of kind of staying out of things than the White House got from Russia pre-invasion. And there was a meeting between
hold on, I just have to stop you. Except for the fact that Vladimir Putin said he wasn't going to invade, and then he said he was withdrawing troops, and then he said he wasn't going to invade, and then invaded. So,
no, you're right. Of course, he gave a lot of false narratives about what he was actually working on. Yeah. But it is interesting that China is now trying to use this neutrality and say that they're just not part of the crisis and they'd rather stay out of it and, keep the lines of communication open with Washington.
All right. We'll read about it in The Hill tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.